Well, hello, 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 my unstoppable lionesses. Here we are. God has blessed us. We've made it to another week, and I have a real treat for you today. I have Miss Shardia O'Connor with us today, and she has a phenomenal talk show called Shades of Reality. So just think about that name for a moment. Just, if that doesn't intrigue you, because there are many shades of reality that we walk through and that we encounter on a daily basis. So, ma'am, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Unstoppable Lionesses. How are you?
I am very well, Coilette. Thank you for having me on your platform.
Ah, my honor, my honor. We've been trying to do this for a
We
while.
have, we have. Finally got there.
So
The
we
grace
got
of the Most
it.
High.
We got it. So I know it's going to be really, really good. I believe that when I start encountering all these oppositions to somebody, to connect with somebody or to do something, there's normally when we do connect, it's just like whoosh, okay.
Yes.
So tell my audience a little bit about you and Shades of Reality. That is just such an intriguing title for a talk show. Talk about it.
I will tell you all about it. So let me start with the name. The
Okay.
name actually comes from my name, Shardia. So me and my best friend for like over 25 years was figuring out what we're going to call the project. And she's like, it has to say something with your name. It has to mean, because your name's so like unique. You need to do, I was like, my name, that's just like cheesy. She's like, no, it needs to be. And we was going over it for a few hours. And she's come back to me, shades, something shades. And I'm like, okay, shades, what shades? And I was like, she goes, well, you are a real person, Shard. You're so real. And, so something real. And then my other friend was like, shades of reality. And we just all looked at each other and was like, yeah. So it was that simple. It took about a day. That's how shades of reality come about. Because
Okay.
I'm very deep. I'm a deep person. I like to,
You
have
like to
deep
do deep
conversations and
dives, right?
topics and deep dives. And I like meaning. I like meaning, substance. So that fits nicely with who I am and what I represent. So that's where Shades of Reality comes from. My name is Shardia. I am a mental health practitioner by the day job, by trade, but I have created two values led, like, I'm not even being biased, but just soul driven brands. Shades of Reality One, that's my media company. I produce podcasts, interview people from all walks of life about their stories from hardship to success. Yes, I have to. You don't have had to go. You don't have. You don't have had to go through something. You've got to have been in situations and been able to come out of it and navigate yourself. So even if you have gone through things, you've had to been able to get yourself out of it. But I like the beauty in stories where, like myself, have been in the environments and have avoided certain things. I think we don't speak about that enough. It's all about the ones that, oh, she went through this and this happened to her and then this and then. What about the ones that didn't go they could have, and they fought so hard because of their environment, their peer pressures, and everyone else is doing stuff. That's hard as well,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
choose you when everyone's doing the same thing, and you lose family, you lose
To
friends.
learn from
Yeah,
observing what's going on around you. That's invaluable, seriously,
yeah,
so that you don't fall in the same pit
yeah,
somebody that your loved ones may be in, or what you're experiencing or what you're seeing. That's that's a good lesson to learn,
yeah.
that just because they did it, you don't have to do it. When my kids were growing up, like, my generational parents were like, if your friend jumps off the cliff, you don't have to jump off the cliff. Well, for me, when my children were growing up, it was like, don't drink the Kool-Aid. It's just like, just because everybody else is
You
drinking
do,
Kool-Aid, don't
as
drink the
you do.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, as you
What I
do.
didn't know, there's a really, really, really deep, you talk about go deep, there's a really, really deep hidden truth behind that I didn't even realize when I was saying it. Come to find out, because I was adopted, and come to find out that my biological father was literally part of the Jim Jones cult and died in Guyana, South America, with everybody drinking the
Well,
Kool-Aid. So
I'm so sorry, Coilet.
what's the matter?
Are you there?
Yes, I am.
I can't hear you properly.
Are you having connection trouble?
Oh, 1 minute. Yeah.
Okay. I hear you fine. Can
Can
you
you
hear
hear me
me?
now?
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Someone was calling me
Oh,
and it cut off.
no worries. No worries. We'll just keep rolling, though. We'll just keep rolling.
Yeah, we'll go.
I
We'll
tell
go.
people,
This is
I said, because live TV, you don't do retakes. So I just keep it rolling. I just keep it rolling. But anyway, so we don't always understand the depth of a situation until it really uncovers itself. Your connection, I'm fascinated by the fact that your media company is Shades of Reality and your day job is mental health, because seriously, mental health is definitely shades of reality. How have you been able to
it.
connect the two as you're interviewing your guests?
Wow, because of my expert knowledge on the issue as well, working in it and, research, studying and whatnot, my own personal studying, because I actually got a degree in mental health. My degree is in young people, family and communities. And then I have a master's in education, but then I work in mental health. So it's transferable skills. Because my degrees are about vulnerable people, and I did do a course on mental health. It did
Mhm.
cover mental health within young people and families and stuff like that. So that's how I've been able to have that profound knowledge and the experiences as well personally with the environment I grew up in.
Mhm.
So it helps me because when I'm actually interviewing people, especially from the same cultural background as me, I'm
Mhm.
no longer there. Like, you can't help what you're born into, but you can help what you create for yourself. So,
Right.
I have a different friendship circle, different environment. But when I do, interview people from the culture, or, bump into or speak with people from the culture, I can understand it more.
Mhm.
Um, and it's what's sad is everyone speaks on mental health, but a lot of people have no clue what mental health is. I think it's just a buzzword now, and people are using it to their advantage. And I think that we've gone too far that way. As
Mhm.
in, before we didn't care. There was no, especially within a certain cultural backgrounds, like mental health, just get on with it. We don't talk about that. There's no such thing. Put up and shut up. And that's what we was born into. That's what my parents were born into, and that's what their parents were born into. And I
Mhm.
think now our generation have thought, no, stop that. We're going to actually, do better. But I think we've gone too far. And we've got people now, I think, using it to a certain advantage. I've got mental health. This is why I'm like this. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? It's like,
It
okay,
does. So
you
instead of
have,
trying to get better,
yeah,
they use it for as a crutch.
yeah, they use it as a crutch or as a weapon. And it's like, okay, have you been diagnosed for a start? Because
Mhm.
to have a mental health disorder or issues, you have to be, you have to have seen someone. You can't just self-diagnose yourself.
Mhm.
You can know that something's wrong with you, but without actually finding out the root of the problem and wanting a solution, not just talking and raising it. Because we all can raise awareness. Everyone can do that. But what about the action? We need to put that awareness into action. And it
Mhm.
starts with our own lives, Coilet. We can't sit there and say, do this, do that. We're not perfect. We have to give ourselves grace. But as leaders,
Right.
as parents, as people in a position of responsibility, we need to be equipped and educated enough to lead from example and
Right.
nourish the next generation. And a
Mhm.
lot of us are not doing that. We're just saying words. It's a buzzword. Um, and it upsets me because when it's time to have real conversations, the ego then it gets exposed and people don't want to speak about things that really need to speak about because they have to look into themselves.
Mhm.
Um, and what, the responsibility that they didn't, take and the accountability they didn't, accept. And
Right.
it's not about blame, it's about acknowledgement. Because if you
Mhm.
don't acknowledge the problem, then
Mhm.
how are you going to move forward? So yeah, I think there's a lot of ego within, especially from certain cultural backgrounds.
Mhm.
The ego is so dangerous and it overpowers because shame and guilt. But
Yeah.
we're human, and this is where, you know, we're not perfect. And if we're raised in households where we're not meant to cry, we're not meant to express ourselves, we're meant to just get on with it. And we
Right.
can keep saying slavery and generational, but it's 500 years we've had to fix this, Coilette.
Mhm.
Times have changed. We have access to more resources, more education. Not all of us, but it's better than it was. And I
Mhm.
think now is the time to really be honest with ourselves and
Mhm.
stop pity, because a pity, feeling sorry, oh yeah, but she went through this, that's dangerous. When you pity someone, you
Mhm.
can empathize with someone, but to
Right.
sympathize with them, it gets dangerous, because then it's an excuse, then, isn't it? Well, they're like that, and it's not. It's how is that empowering the person, Colette, to do better?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's where it connects. My passion, you know
Mhm.
working in mental health and interviewing and writing, that's where it connects, kind of. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I was thinking as you were talking, I don't know how it is in the British culture, but I know here, for especially Black men in America, it was taboo to go to therapy. It was taboo
Same
to
here.
even admit that you needed help. Even like my husband had PTSD. He served in Vietnam, but he would never admit that he had it or seek help. You know what I'm saying? Because it was taboo. For you're a man, you don't need therapy. And it was just an interesting thing that I observed,
Mhm.
when his little brother passed away. He had lost two brothers, and his sister decided to go to therapy. And he was just blown away, that therapy, why are you going to therapy? She's like, I need help processing all that this family has walked through, you
Mhm.
know. And I think it took it a minute to take that negative stigmatism off of it.
Yeah.
But as the years progressed, I could slowly see him understanding people need help
Yeah.
processing, and it's okay. That is not a
Totally.
sign of a weakness to
Weakness. Yeah. Yeah.
say, I need some help. I need some help, seriously. I know that you love, writing stories and helping people craft their own story.
I wouldn't say stories. I'd say more. I'm more of an article, blogger, essay. I write
Okay.
essays, and yeah, it's storytelling, but it's more essay. I think it's more structured. So it's a blog, articles,
Okay.
but it's all storytelling. It is all
Mhm.
storytelling with my interview. So yeah.
I found my connection to it. I found that when I wrote my story, like I've got 8 books, the ninth one is about to be launched, but when I wrote my story, and it took me over 10 years to write that one. I wrote three books in between. But I found that as I was writing my story, the pages became therapy for me
Yes.
because I had to relive different segments of my life. And I had to go back and really dissect it. And it
Mhm.
caused me to see it, since I'm looking in hindsight, it caused me to see it in a different light. It
Mhm.
caused me to see the people that were involved in the different situations differently. I think it's really, really important that in crafting, I tell people all the time, journaling is therapeutic. I really, really believe that. I really do. When you can sit and put your feelings on paper, it kind of helps to process it.
100% journaling. I tell everybody when it comes to, workshops, one-to-one sessions I have with clients,
Mhm.
journaling. I do promote that because it's so important, because you can go back to it, especially when you've overcome certain things, and look back and be like, look how far I've come.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of acknowledge those feelings are okay. It's okay to feel not okay. It's how we deal with it. Um,
That
yeah.
I love that. It's okay to not be okay.
It's,
That's
it's how
that's
we
a
deal with it.
powerful statement.
It's how we do with it. But I think, like I said, cultural background, it's got nothing to do with race. It's about culture, and where we're at. And because you find it in every race, you find subcultures within races. So you've got a culture and then you have subcultures, and the rebellious, the rebellions, the ones that, have felt like they've been left out of society and feel like they don't fit in. And then they create their own kind of culture and rules and regulations. And then that's where it becomes a prison within itself, because these people have a lack of knowledge and lack of awareness of things. So it's not about creating your own cultures, it's about being equipped to
Mhm.
lead with the right intentions and integrity and responsibility,
Mhm.
I think. Yeah.
I have a signature talk and it's called The Identity of Leadership. And it stems from exactly what you're saying, that, who you identify yourself as will definitely govern how you lead,
100%.
govern how you treat people,
Hmm.
how you view people. If you're just seeing your employees as a bottom line number, okay, you're not seeing them as real living breathing people with lives outside of the workforce, then you don't pour into them. You just
Hmm.
expect them to do, you expect them just to be robotic, and that's not healthy.
No, and then it creates a toxic culture, and then
Yes.
you're curing things then instead of preventing things, and
Right.
it's much harder to cure things than to prevent them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me tell you. So yeah, prevent is better than cure. So yeah, definitely, and it's same to. I think it's same goes for everything: relationships, employer to employee,
Mhm.
husband to wife,
Mhm.
parents to children, children to parents. I think it goes across the board, don't you think, Coyle?
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. If you can sit and talk, communicate, not yell, not in the fit of anger, but just communicating. My husband and I separated a couple of times, but the last time we came back together, I was like, I'm not doing this again. That was number one. That was my first thing. I'm not doing this again. This is it. It'll either work or it won't, but
It
this
won't
is
work,
it
yeah.
you know but my biggest thing is we have to communicate, because we had to be intentional about
Intentional.
communicating,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we were both the type of people that, hey, I can walk past you and not say a word to you and be all right with that. Okay, and that's not healthy. That's not good, because you don't address the situation. And God had to really really help me hone in my tongue, so that I'm not addressing things in my emotions.
Yeah.
you know I have
I
to
think, yeah,
process and then sit. Okay, now let's let's be
yeah.
adults and talk. Just
Talk without
talk.
getting offended, without feeling, it's ego. And I think that, like I said, it comes with healing as well. I think
Hmm.
when you're always on the defense, then
Hmm.
it shows where you haven't healed.
That's true.
Um, so yeah, it's yeah. I think
That's a
if
powerful statement. Dive,
if you no, because if it's your all right, if
dive into
things
that
need
a
to,
little more.
yeah, if things aren't right, so you can people can trigger people like intentionally or unintentionally, but
Hmm.
you've got to know when someone's provoking you and when they're not, and when they want to get down to the problem. And if you are repeating cycles, toxic harmful cycles that are causing, and people are addressing it, and you're feeling triggered, that's something you need to work on. It's not what someone says, it's how they say it. So if the person's just has good intentions, wants to help you, support you, and you know be there for you for the change,
Hmm.
then I don't see what the problem is. If someone's just being like just plain out nasty, and you just know when someone's there to help and they're not to help, kind of thing.
Yeah, you
But
do.
you do. But I think if you are trying to bypass the issue and the problem,
Mm.
then that's when you're going to have issues trying to build relationships and keep relationships, especially healthy ones. So we can all have relationships. Are they healthy? Are they good?
Mm.
Are they valuable? We can all have friends, but are they valuable relationships?
I
Do the
agree.
people value you? That's what I care about. I could have one friend as long as they value me.
Hmm.
I don't care about anything else. I've never been one to be popular. I've just been popular for some reason through school. I've never asked for it. But there
Yeah.
is this saying. Have you heard of that saying? It's Jamaican coiler. It says, "Wanty wanty no get it no wanty want it." Have you heard of
No,
that?
I haven't.
So it means the ones that want it so bad never get it. They never get the acknowledgement. They have to fight for it. They always have to do the most for it. But
Mm.
when you don't want something and you just naturally have it in you, the thing that everyone wants,
Mhm.
you don't want it. You don't want, you get the attention you don't want. And that's what I've been throughout my life. I've never forced myself. I've never tried to be, I've just been me, and I've gained unwanted attention for it. And
I can relate to that.
it's gained, it's caused a lot of jealousy and a lot of resentment and that
Right. By
because
people
I'm
that don't even
humble.
know you, they're just
Yeah,
watching
they
and
just
they
watch,
don't
and
even
even
know
people
you.
that do know me, close family, friends, well, close family, relatives, people that you thought was okay, and they've had that secret animosity towards you, and then there's generational,
Hmm.
generational trauma, and there's so much, but that's what I've had to deal with. And this is why I've created what I've created with Shades of Reality, giving people a voice, because I've never had that voice really. I've always been, shut down.
Wow.
Due to other people's insecurities and highlighting other people's shortcomings. When things are normalized, it takes one person to say this isn't right, and then everyone gets all on because it's normalized within cultures and families. But I've been the one to say this isn't right, this isn't for me, I'm stepping out. And if I
Mhm.
have to not speak to people again, I won't. And I think a lot more people need to really trust themselves in their purpose and their mission, not the ego, not I don't want to, I want to do what I want. I don't, not, no, it's not that. It's about being in your purpose. And if people aren't joining you in your purpose, right, and doing what they need to do, and able to come to your level, no one's better than no one, but we're on different frequencies and timelines and stuff. And I'm not lowering my IQ or my sense of self to appease and fit in because other people haven't raised the bar for themselves. I am not doing that. And if you
Mhm.
think I'm better than you, that's up to you. But it's not me thinking I'm better than you. You clearly think I'm better than you because I want better for myself.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people, I've spoke to a lot of women as well, especially women. Women are getting sick with chronic stress, and men, but women are, because they've been told and they've been, brought up to center men, and you know what, I believe that a woman and a man, that's the purpose of life, but not any man or any woman. That's just you know what, oh, you need the man, like, but any man, any woman, that's not, and this is where I think we've gone wrong in society and wrong within
Right.
cultures, because we
Right.
force that on ourselves. We've seen our aunties, we've seen our mothers, we've seen our grandparents unhappy, angry, resentful,
Yeah.
bitter. Like, do you want to be like that? Like, just put aside everything else. We're all big women now. We're not children, so we're not being disrespectful. We're big women, and we should know what we want for ourselves. Do you want to be like your mother or your grandparents? Did they set the right example? You don't follow someone because it's that. Like, if they told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? It's the same thing, Like, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's the same thing.
I
Like,
understand.
don't follow detrimental, things that can have a detrimental impacts on your life. Um,
And especially when you see that it was unhealthy for them. It's
even
like,
even if they didn't see it, because some people are just happy in their unhealthiness or don't want to acknowledge it because they have to admit certain things. That's
mhm,
fine. Sometimes the truth will destroy someone because the shame and
mhm,
the lies they've told themselves. That's
mhm.
fine. But you should know, as the next generation, that's not what I want for myself.
Right.
And that's okay to want that. But you can't be in certain environments if it's not changing. And I think a lot of us women, a lot of us are going through that, and I think a lot of that keeps a lot of us get kept behind because of that. Because I was once in that place. Oh, and fear is installed into us from early,
Mm,
from the older generation, and because of their traumas and their unhealed.
right.
Um, so I think that we need to unlearn certain things that are harmful to us as women, especially, and really find who we are and our own identities, and
Right.
break the cycles, break the curses. Yeah, we can love our mothers only because we don't want to be like our mothers or grandparents or anyone that was an influence on us growing up. It doesn't mean that we don't love them. We
Yeah.
don't have to like that. We can love something. We don't have to like it though, do we? I don't, like, you know,
I understand. I think the beauty of being a woman today is that culture has changed.
very
You know,
much so.
our mothers, our grandmothers, their culture taught them and infused within them to keep silent, to suffer in silence. You don't, you marry for life. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't give up, to even suffer abuse
Yeah,
to
it's
the point
accepted.
of,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I'm grateful for the culture of today
I
that's
am as well.
nope, you don't have to do that. I was very, very blessed by a very strong woman as a mother, and because she had my father was her third husband, but because she had had two husbands prior that were toxic. Okay, one she was only with for 10 months, she was a teenager, but the other one she was with for 14 years. And it was a toxic environment. And so when she came out of that environment, she came out very hardened. Okay.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
And making sure, like, she really, like, my father had to work at it
yeah.
seriously to win her over because she was so guarded, because she was determined she wasn't going to go through that
Go
again.
through that again. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm grateful that my vision of what a marriage should be was a healthy vision. Unfortunately, my father passed when I was 7, but it was a healthy vision. My father was the only person on this planet that could calm my mother down. It was like he loved her unconditionally, and it was witnessed, by me. So I learned value of, no matter what, if you have somebody that loves you, they're not going to abuse you. And then she reinforced that with the lessons that she would teach me
Hmm.
about, you don't take abuse off of
Yeah.
anybody. So I was blessed in that respect. But I know my peers, there were other young girls that did not have that same influence, and that they watched this abuse in their home,
Yeah.
and the mothers suffering silently. Now they're like, I'm a product of the 50s. So, it was like that culture switch, that swing was coming, but it had not totally hit yet.
Hmm.
And I watched them repeat the cycle. And I was like, why would you allow what you knew was happening in your home as a child to happen in your home as an adult? I didn't understand that, but it was because it was what they knew.
Yeah. And it's
It
strength.
became the norm.
Yeah, it's the strength as well. Some women are stronger than others. Um,
That's
and
right.
I just think that it's just the way we're built as well. I've come to terms with not everyone is supposed to be strong. Some people, I believe that I've had to come to terms with it because I had a savior complex. I have had a savior complex as well because of being younger and not being silenced and not being able to speak up because you have other people, um, older people silencing you when
Mhm.
you're speaking up against things that just don't seem right, but
Mhm.
are the norm to them. You can't break it because it's normal to them, and that's how they function. Some people are just meant to be the way they are. I think we can't save everybody, Coilet, and it's quite sad. It's sad to come to terms with, but I have come to terms with it, and I've just accepted it for what it is. You can't save everybody. That's it. Could be mean. your own children. When they get to a certain age, they make their own choices. And if you know you've done the best you can do, if you know you've done the best, because at the end of the day, accountability has to be, if you know you've done the best, that's all you can do, because society raises your children as well, but it does start at home.
It
The
does.
relationships we have with other people starts with the relationships we have with our parents. And
Mhm.
if our relationships with our parents are volatile, or they're just dysfunctional, or they're unhealthy, it could, it's not just about, you could be narcissistic parents, you could have parents that enable children to do what they're doing. It's still toxic.
Mhm.
And if you haven't got a healthy relationship with your parents, that could be your parents, being scared of you and letting you do what you're doing, thinking that it's okay what you're doing. That's toxic as well. If you haven't got that, that grounded relationship with them, and for you to have a grounded relationship with your parents have to be grounded.
This is true.
It's simple as, if your parents are not grounded individuals, if they haven't made the life they wanted for themselves, if they haven't fought, for their life, for what they deserve, for what they require,
Mhm.
then yeah, they're not going to be able to install that into you, are they? So you have to, as a child, has to acknowledge that, understand that as early as possible, and go out and create your own. But a lot of us are victims to this. A lot of us think, oh, but it's my mom, it's my dad, that toxic cultural, that it's a cultural thing. Like, it's your mom and your dad, it's not their fault. Well, it is. It's they made the decision to bring children into the world, knowing that they ain't stable enough for that. Knowing that they're not equipped for that. Like, and then
You know,
they raise
I
these.
have to say they don't always know that they're not equipped for it. Because children don't come with a manual, okay?
No, they don't.
They don't come with a manual, and I think that some parents, as they're learning in the process, they're learning this was more than what I anticipated it would be, you
Is that
know.
after you've had so many children? What if you've had quite a few children to do that?
Some of them is like they may only have one, you know, it's not always multiple. I have two, right? And both of them are very, very different. Okay, so children are very different. But you have to, as a parent, you have to make that intentional effort to learn that child.
I
Okay.
think that's what I mean. When I talk, yeah, I think you've said it better. You're not going to always be equipped in that sense, but that's what I mean by being equipped, to know that you have to learn. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? So I don't mean
Yeah.
being equipped having it
Yeah.
all. You're not going to have it all. You're not perfect, but
Right.
you have
Right.
to be intentional and
Mhm.
know that if you do make the mistake, I'm not perfect. Do you
Mhm.
understand where I'm coming from? It's not
Yes.
about that.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
No
Yes.
one's perfect. It's about acknowledging what you need to do. I'm
Mhm.
just talking from my experiences and the experiences of where I'm from, and
Mhm.
seeing from the culture that people aren't learning their children. They just think,
Mhm.
that's my child, I know it. But you
Yeah.
don't know them, because you don't
No,
spend
you
time
don't,
with
because
them.
you
You
didn't
don't
try.
talk to them. You
Right. You
haven't
didn't
been in
try
their
to learn them.
life. You
Mhm.
haven't sat with them. You haven't raised them. But
Yeah.
because you made them, you think you have the authority. That's narcissistic behavior. It's narcissism. And I think that's what I mean. Sorry,
Yeah.
so I'll apologize for that. I didn't mean to say, yeah, because you couldn't misunderstand that. But yeah, if you're not going out your way to learn about
Right.
something or someone, how we, uh, you know, yeah,
And it's the same way in marriage. It's the
yeah.
same way in relationship.
Everything in relationship, you
Everything.
have to learn the
Yes.
person. You can't assume. You have to
Right.
speak and
Right.
listen. Don't just listen to react, or make out like, that's something else.
Mhm. Mhm.
People assume, like, people will make up what they want to make up of you as well,
This is
what
true.
they think you should be.
This is true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And that's
Mhm.
where,
They
it
have
can
this
get messy.
preconceived notion of who you are without
Yeah.
ever even getting to know
Without
you.
even having to think, oh, you're my cousin, you're my sister. I know, you don't spend time with
Mhm.
me. I haven't seen you since like 25 years. I've never even slept in the same house as you. We've never had time together. You
Mhm.
can't, I can honestly say I don't know a lot of my family members, close ones as well, like brothers, sisters, and stuff, because we've grown apart.
Mhm.
But they seem to think, because we're brothers and sisters, yeah, it's not 20 years ago. You should have developed into from that. And
Should
that's
have
where I think,
grown,
yeah, and
matured.
that's where I think the issues can stem. And that's why I created Shades of Reality, because I want to give people a voice to tell their story and who they are from themselves, not from who people want you to be, or what your peers think you should be, or your mom or your dad, or anyone around you who thinks they know you. Only you know you and the Most High. So I create that platform for people to sit down and speak from their heart.
That's good. That's real good. And likewise, even with yourself, you have to do self-reflection. You
Yeah,
have to go in there and examine, do a self-assessment from time to
yeah,
time, and see if what you see is what you want, you know
yeah,
and be honest with yourself. Be very,
yeah.
very honest with yourself. I did a live Friday, I think it was Friday, and I was talking about, somebody asked me how I was doing, and it was a text. And when I read it, my first thought was, I'm on an emotional roller coaster and I want the ride to stop so I can get off, because that was the truth of my reality at that moment.
So
That's
yeah,
just how I felt. Um, and it's like, because you are, well, me, I'm perceived as this strong person. I'm perceived as, I just go with the flow and everything is always okay in my life, and it's not. And I've had a very difficult year. I lost my husband, I lost my dog that I'd had for 12 and a half years. That was my baby. I just lost my best friend a couple of weeks ago. It's been a tough
yeah.
year. Okay. And if I don't take the time to acknowledge that, if I keep just trying to suppress it and stuff it and keep going, then I'm going to be a mental case. Okay. So it's like, we have to do an assessment of ourselves, for mental clarity and mental health on ourselves,
You do.
to identify, where am I right now? Okay. And what do I need to personally address within me?
Me, yes.
I,
And
I
then,
think that's really
yeah,
important.
and then that way you can navigate life clearer. You can
Yeah.
put up boundaries. You know what you don't like, what you like, what you want. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody, because your experiences have
Mhm.
made you into the person you are today. So it's okay to say, no, that's not for me. You don't owe anybody anything because they think they are. It's not, we're not doing that. That's what that's my mission. That's my purpose, to show people they have autonomy
Mm.
as adults, and we need to, especially women from my background. And I can't speak because I was, like I said, silenced as a child,
Mm.
growing, or even today, people try to, like, say certain things to make me not say certain things or think a certain way. But that's because it highlights who they are and what they
Mm.
haven't done and what they need to do
Mhm.
within themselves. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, we just have to you gotta keep going, don't we? But
We do, but we
I
need
am
to keep going healthily. It's like,
healthily, yeah.
what I was trying to tell people is, just because you may have that inner strength, it's okay to step back and say, you know what? I'm dealing with something right now, and not just keep stuffing it, or trying to sweep it under the rug, or trying to act like you're this superwoman, and that
No,
you
it's true.
have,
Yeah,
you have no problems in life ever. And it's just like,
yeah.
no, address it, deal
Dress
with it,
it.
and then breathe. It's okay to step back and breathe.
Yeah. And
Just
and if you've got problems, share them with people you kind of,
that you can trust.
that you can trust. That's first and foremost. But then you can kind of, like, someone that you admire in a way. They seem like the way they handle their life. They're not perfect, but the way they handle their problems. Take advice off people like that. Don't take advice off a friend that's always in problems, but because they're your friend. Because how are they supposed to help you? One, you're adding
Yes.
problem. You're adding more problems to them, even if they don't tell you you are.
Yeah,
And
so
two,
true.
you're
That's
not
so
going to get anything out of it. It's just going to be trauma bonding, if anything, because they're still in their issues. But that's where we need to form healthy relationships, and not through shared trauma, or oh, I can relate to you because that's happened to me. It's not about that, because that can become dangerous as well, as Black women,
because we
especially,
handle things
especially.
totally different. We
Yeah,
just,
especially with
yeah,
through Black women. I think it's like we're like a monolith, aren't we? Like we're all the same, we all act the same, we all have gone through certain things. Well, no, because people have dealt with things differently, and a lot of Black women haven't gone through the things that this narrative. There's a dangerous narrative out there with Black women as well. Like we're strong. We've had to put up with this, and yeah, a lot of us have, but a lot of us haven't. It's
yeah.
and it's putting this narrative on the skin color. White women have gone through a lot. I know a lot
Thank
of white women
you.
that have gone through so much, like
Thank
worse
you.
than some Black women, Asian women, but they go through. It's like we need to stop this
Yeah,
narrative around Black women, Black people,
right.
because it's a human thing. We all go through pain. We all suffer. It's not saying there's no institutional internalized racism. We're not saying that doesn't exist. We know it does, but we're not embodying that. I'm not entertaining that, because I need to focus on what's going on presently.
Mhm.
Until that's in my face and I have to deal with that head. I'm not thinking about that.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about, the people you know, come in, come in contact with day to day,
I
the people I
so,
have to communicate with.
yeah.
It's
I
about
think
being in
as
the presence.
women, period, no matter what your ethnicity is, women can relate to just
To
being a
women,
woman.
100%, 100%,
Just
100%, yeah.
a woman.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, I think that could be dangerous, because we can isolate ourselves then. I see it a lot with people, they isolate themselves and they come like, oh, they can't get themselves out of their situation because everyone around them is in the same situation or no better off. We gotta accept help, and we've got I think as well, just through my experiences growing up, this is just me though, I've always wanted to surround myself around people that are not like my background or what I've come from. I've always done that. Like growing up, my friends have been white, Asian, different colours, like because I want to learn. I want
To
something
learn.
different. That's how
Right,
you develop. Like
right.
you can't try and change people if they can't see the change. Only because you're different doesn't mean that other people are going to be different, like where you come from.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
That
So you
makes
can
perfect
show
sense.
people, but if they don't, if that's not for them and they feel safe in their environment and within their culture, you've got to leave them to be there. Me now, I can't stay boxed in. I'm not a box. I'm not, you can't say I am a Black woman that likes this. I'm a woman that has melanated skin that is very, very complex and multidimensional. You can't put me in a box, like,
Right.
you know.
Agree.
So yeah, it's about helping people and educating people to kind of free their mind to be able to experience that as well, because it is
I
beautiful.
love it.
It's beautiful just waking up being you without people. Oh, whatever people think of me, it's up to them, but I know who I am and I will keep reinforcing that
Right.
until people get it.
We are down to the last minute and a half of the show. I want you to share
That's
with
gone
the people.
quick.
I told you it would go real, real fast. Share with people how they can reach you, how they can view Shades of Reality, read your blogs, etc.
www.shadesofreality.co.uk. That's where you'll get all my articles, all my featured publications, and all my interviews. I have an academy as well where people can buy my workbooks on identity, resilience, culture, everything powerful, ladies. We're not ladies, men as well, both. I have it for organizations, institutions, education, healthcare, and I do individuals for creatives and just business, high functioning business leaders, leaders in general. So it's for those. So I have packages and I have um
Perfect.
single packages as well. I also have a luxurious online brand called Thawada Boutique, which I
Okay.
specialize in bespoke tailored women's wear, and I also have a mid-range premium wholesale retail wear as well. Um, yeah, I'm doing a lot, and it's really fun. But I'm enjoying it, and the brand comes kind of from Shades of Reality, Thawada Boutique. It's all about culture, identity, and just empowerment. especially within our culture, like I'm trying to like shift certain things. Like not all of us act, behave, and dress a certain way. There is some of us that like certain, different things. So I'm trying to kind of show people that there's different dimensions and functions to black women, whatever that is,
Awesome.
whatever that is.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being my guest. Thank you for coming on today and sharing with my lionesses. I really, really appreciate you. I think this has been a very healthy conversation, and I'm praying that
Thank
it will
you.
help them in
Yeah.
in the different things and aspects they're going through. Well, lionesses, that's it. That's our show for today.
Thank
So
you,
thank you for
Toyvet.
joining in, and you guys have an incredible